Hi and welcome back to Wappler Unwrapped. This is the first in our intermediate courses. We'll be continuing on the theme of a accommodation provider website. In this particular lesson we'll be showing you how to use a Google map as a menu to, in this case, the universities within the system. It's a fairly straightforward procedure. If you remember back in previous lessons, we created an all universities data query. For those of you who haven't followed through that lesson, it's a fairly straightforward query. Straightforward, selecting all records from the table of university. And in that initial lesson, we simply dealt with the uni ID, the university's name, its city and its postcode. And I've simply added a few more fields in now, if it's longitude, its latitude and its full address. So first thing to do, we're going to create our new file. Let's save it straight away as unimap.php. We're still within the admin section of the website. Just replace an old version. The first thing we're going to do, as normal, is to add that all-important App Connect framework and our Bootstrap framework. Okay, now let's get down to the bones of things. We'll add a container. Within that container, a row and a column, and then we're going to go straight into adding a map to this. So let's go in that column. Let's get into the display section, and we're going to ask for Google Maps. Nothing as such has appeared on the screen at the moment, and that's because we need an API key, and without an API key from Google, this won't work. If I just pop up Google Chrome for you, if you simply do a Google search on Get Google Maps API Key, you'll come to the Google Maps platform page, and it details very well how you go ahead to get that API key. I'm not going to go through that procedure with you now. It shouldn't be necessary at all. Let's just get straight back to the job in hand, which is creating that menu. So back in Wappler, I'm just going to add a key that I already have into this, which I just happen to have there. I'm just going to drag this off screen. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm adding the API key in, and I just don't want it to be publicly reveal the entire key itself. So there we are, and you see immediately the little Google logo has appeared to show us that we've now got linked through to that Google Maps platform. Okay, so where are we going now? Straightforward. Let's decide where we're going to center the map. And you could stick a static value in, or later I'll show you how to put a dynamic value in. But for the moment, I'm just going to center this on roughly the center of the UK, which is Leeds in the UK. There we are. We see we've got the maps appeared straight away on screen. It's really good the way this happens in dynamic fashion. I'm just going to add a bit more height to that. So there we have the UK centered. And let's just now add some controls into there. So let's have map type. Oh, right, I'll have street view, zoom control, full screen. Let's scale it. In fact, why not give it a lot? If I just open that in the browser, just to show you how it works, you can see now there's the UK, pretty well centered. We can zoom right in. We've got street view. We've got everything we need already set up. How incredibly quick and easy is that? So back into Wappler. Just noticed I haven't given the page a title, so we'll just call this University Map. But the important thing is obviously is we want to be able to map our universities on there. So let's just start with option 1, which is if we go into dynamic markers, Our marker source is our data query, which I haven't yet added in. So let's just add in that data query. Server connect, server action, and our server action is the all universities query. We should now be able to go down to Google Maps, select that data source, and the first way I'm going to do it is by using the address. So we're going to click on address, full address, and select. I'm going to zoom out. Actually, we'll do this in the browser. Kind of disappointing. There should be 294 pointers on that screen, and even if we zoom into London, we can see we have nowhere near that. And there's a reason why that happens. As from July of this year, Google introduced a queries per second limit for queries such as this. And at the moment, if I remember rightly, 50 is the limit of the number of queries per second that Google Maps will allow from the application. We've got 294 queries in there, so obviously it's going to limit. And if we actually go into the Google Error Console, we'll actually see not successful. The following reason: over query limit. So what that tells us is that we can use the address for small numbers of Google queries. However, if we've got large numbers, we can't use the address. So I'm going to change that now to use latitude and longitude. And immediately we see a completely different situation. Open that in browser, and there's the maps within, or the universities within the UK. Okay, so how do we use that as a menu? That's actually incredibly simple. All we've got to do is go down to the section label. I'm going to just quickly show you what happens if you use label. Just one moment, please. I put that in title, didn't I? My apologies. Label. University name. Let's save that. You see what we get is the names are overlaid, and where you've got a concentration of markers, it really does get quite messy. So I tend to leave that label field off. The important bit for us here is the info, and what we can actually do is just put a hyperlink in there directly. I'm just going to make sure that we got the right name. Edit uni. .php query ID equals, and our unique ID field within there is uni ID. Actually, just a little error. We've got to remember that when we bind an element within Wappler, it does put it in double quotes, which means that we need to ensure that we use single quotes within our queries. We want for the university name to appear. Again, end those double braces, and then we'll terminate that query. Let's save that. Let's go back in. Let's randomly pick York College. You see, we click on that and it takes it straight into the edit form for that particular university. So that's how to use Google Maps as a menu. We're at 10.5 minutes. I'm just going to add a little bit of my usual fun time at the end. What we're going to do is we're going to look at animation. There were a few animations automatically built into Google Maps, and I'm just going to show you some now. If we were bouncing, let's see those markers bounce. Believe me, if you get too many, you will probably feel seasick with that one. I'll just show you the effect. Not an effect I really like on multiple markers, but I just thought I'd show you what can be done. And the other one is to drop that I wanted to show you. And that's probably more effective. Save that. And now what we'll see is those markers will drop in from the top of the screen rather than just statically appearing. Okay, so I'm going to call that an end to this particular lesson. I may well revisit maps again because there's a lot of other clever things that can be done, but I think at 11.5 minutes this lesson needs to come to an end. Thank you for joining us, and hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.